What's up guys, Apathetic here, and I've finally done it. After some intense grinding, losing to aimbotters, playing top players, I'm finally here to review the not forgotten hand cannon that you receive once you reach legend rank in the Crucible. Guys, before I get into the weapon, I just gotta shout out my fire team. So huge shout out to Habana, Jigglefish, and BraveX Hero, who also has his own YouTube channel. You guys might have seen me mention him a couple times here. I'll link him down below. Make sure you check out him out, guys. Great YouTuber, and I couldn't have done it without these guys. So with that, let's dive into this beast. So for this weapon, guys, if you remember my review of Luna's Howl, it's similar in that they are both 180 RPM hand cannons, but Luna's had great stability, but you're really limited by its range, while Not Forgotten does not have that problem at all, as you're about to see. This thing is all range, guys. So it comes with a static roll, which is extended barrel for range, accurized rounds for range, Zen moment to keep that stability in check, and of course the main attraction, Magnificent Howl, where rapidly landing 2 precision shots gives that bonus damage for about 3 seconds. And lastly, the masterwork is for, you guessed it, range. One thing to note is that the reload on this weapon is much slower than Luna's, so that's something that kind of threw me off at first, but I adapted to over time. But you're gonna make sure with Not Forgotten, you're gonna make sure you're running gloves that increase the reload speed of your hand cannons to compensate for that. So as you guys can probably guess, this thing is a beast up close and at range, in this especially because of its increased range that leads to increased accuracy, which makes it easier to headshot your opponents and proc Magnificent Howl. I found with this weapon, I proc Magnificent Howl a lot more consistently, and I feel like when I'm aiming at the head, the hitbox is a little bit more generous, so I'm procking precision shots and Magnificent Howl a lot more. So this also, because of the range, allows you to do more damage to your opponents from further away, so the range drop off is not as bad, and allows you to be a lot more flexible with your play style. One of the big problems I have when I compare this gun to Luna's Howl is that in competitive Crucible for Luna's, if you run into a full team with the Ace of Spades, simply because they can outrange you and Ace of Spades hits like a tank, that it just destroys Luna's Howl. It makes it so hard to use. When I use Not Forgotten against people with Ace of Spades, I have no issues challenging that range, and sometimes a lot of times I outgun them because I can proc Luna's Howl because of that increased accuracy, which is tied to the range. Continuing on with this weapon, it's got an aim assistance stat of 79 and a recoil direction of 95, so you should have no problem aiming this weapon and landing those precision headshots. But as I mentioned, guys, this thing is a grind. In the grind, I almost want to cry when I talk about it. You gotta get 300 Luna kills and then get to legend rank and competitive, and one could honestly ask, is it worth it? Hell yes, this thing absolutely destroys, guys. I love this weapon. I enter every gunfight so confident, maybe a little too confident, you know, maybe a little too confident, because I know how fast this weapon can kill, and it allows me to actually win some gunfights after someone got the first shot off. So it allows me to kind of change the tide once I'm able to proc Luna's Magnificent Howl and totally 3-tap an opponent at such a far range, and it feels so dirty. Now, one recommendation I can make for this weapon, and this applies to Luna's Howl as well, just to make it a little bit better, still a little icing on the cake, is you're gonna want to slap on a backup mag mod on it. So by default, this weapon comes with 10 rounds in the magazine, but with how fast this gun fires, you'll find yourself reloading a lot. But by adding this backup mag, you'll gain an additional 3 rounds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it does make all the difference, guys. Trust me on this one. So that's gonna wrap up this video, guys. If you've got a skilled fire team, put your head down and start grinding for this beast. It's absolutely worth it, and I would 1,000 times over prefer this weapon over the Luna's Howl. It just allows you to play a lot more freely because of the overall increased range. With that, make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and leave a comment down below if you're already grinding for Not Forgotten, and let me know how your grind is going, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.